Hello, very good morning. This is Breakfast with Charlie State and Louise Minchin.
A lack of communication, compassion and basic kindness, the findings of an independent review into a children's heart surgery unit. Good morning, it's Thursday the 13th of March.
Also on the programme.
This story, the NHS in England says new standards are needed to ensure families who lose a child after heart surgery are treated with compassion. A report into the experiences of families at Leeds General Infirmary said there was a tragic lack of communication, compassion and sometimes basic kindness.
The independent review began after surgery was briefly suspended at the hospital last year. Today's report says services there are safe and running well, but gives examples of poor care. Our health correspondent Dominic Hughes reports. And just to let you know, actually, later on Breakfast, we'll speak to a mother who complained about the care her daughter received. That's at 7:10.
Search teams have been scouring the South China Sea again for the missing Malaysian plane after satellite images appeared to show three large floating objects.
The images appeared on a Chinese government website last night, and planes from Vietnam and Malaysia were dispatched to re-examine the site. So far this morning, nothing has been recovered. John Sudworth reports.
Thank you.
Western countries are preparing a resolution at the United Nations Security Council reaffirming Ukraine's sovereignty, though it will long.
A 29-year-old man has been charged on suspicion of terror offences linked to Syria. Jamshed. Fracking has the potential to devastate wildlife habitats across the country. That's according to research commissioned by a group of leading conservation charities.
The study is the first UK-wide report into the environmental costs of fracking, but the industry says that current regulations are strict enough to protect wildlife. Our environment correspondent Claire Marshall reports. Adult social care in England is under increasing pressure, and the government has no idea how long the system can cope. That is according to an official inquiry.
3 rare tiger cubs have been born at London Zoo.
Health news as well.
Let's see, time now is 12 minutes past 6.
Sally is here with the sport.
Morning.
Not good news in Europe again.
No, not good news at all. Manchester City are out of the Champions League, knocked out by Barcelona last night. And apparently in the press box in the Nou Camp last night, the Spanish journalist was saying, this Barcelona side's not that good, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the slide. This is the kind of the tail end of the greatness of that Barcelona side. I don't think Manchester City fans...
See looming
And Jules
large
Holland
there,
just peeping in.
sticking his head round the corner.
Front page of The Independent, all at sea, 5 days on, tempest flare, they're saying over the fast... And they're talking the mental health story also makes the front page of The Independent too.
Time is 17 minutes past 6. Dom's here now.
Supermarkets under pressure. That's my theme for today because we've got Morrison's results coming up.
I think Carol's there for us. Morning, Carol.
Morning. I know very well, Carol. It was very foggy on the journey this morning. It took much longer time. Thank you very much. I'm sure everybody will take care. Thanks, Carol.
6:22 the time now. For same-sex couples, today is a milestone on the path to marriage equality in England and Wales. Large parts of the new gay marriage laws come into effect at midnight.
It's now 15 days until the first same-sex weddings can take place. That's the notice period required for marriages. Simon Clemison has been to meet one couple who will be one of the first to get married on the 29th of March.
A brilliant story for them.
Story,
Do you know, that horse cost them £35,000, which I know is a huge amount of money, but in racehorse terms, it's not. Yesterday, they won 200 grand for that race.
That's all right, not a bad day.
It's not, not a terrible return, is it?
Oh, lovely story. Thanks, Anne. The state pension will rise by less than 3% next month. That's less than £3 per week for pensioners who are single.
But around 3 million people who don't qualify for a full state pension won't get as much. Paul Lewis is here to explain, and quite often, Paul, you come here to explain complicated things. This is right up there, isn't it?
This is right up there with the most complicated. We even tried to do some...
Give us the top line there.
But look, if you're on a state pension, then the two pensions. But there's a group above that, about nearly 2 million, 1.8 million pensioners.
Oh, the cost of stamps is something else, isn't it? There's a commitment, isn't there? The government saying that pensioners got to rise at least as high as inflation. Does that fit within that commitment?
Well, it doesn't really...
1 million people is a lot of people.
It is.
And these are people who haven't got much.
They're by definition.
What is the Department for Work and Pensions saying?
Well, they say, and are being protected by the quite poor, if you like. That's how it works.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Graphics.
I can't believe I said I was looking forward to some graphics, but I was. Thanks, Paul.
Let's see, time now, 6:44. You're watching Breakfast from BBC News. Our main stories this morning. We're going to have a look at the weather now. Let's give you a little glimpse of
That's good to hear. Thank you very much, Carol, and I'm sure everybody will take care out there. Thank you.
We're going to talk about supermarkets now. Morrison's will announce how well it's performed in 2013. That's coming up a little later this morning.
The company's seen sales fall and rivals steal customers. Not only that big supermarkets under pressure, though. Dom can explain it all to us. Stealing customers? Morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's not stealing, it's not
Yeah.
criminal, but, you know, they are...
I like the supermarkets that you're allowed to test things in.
Is that common?
Well, I did it in the ones I go to.
Maybe they should do it
Maybe I
more.
just go, it's not. There's a lady
Stealing,
there who's
actually.
cooked it handing it out.
That's a whole different thing.
That is not what I meant.
6:53 is the time now.
Tens of thousands of budding scientists and engineers will descend on Birmingham's NEC over the next few days for the largest celebration of science and technology for young people in the UK.
The Big Bang Fair aims to encourage more young people to work in these kind of fields and perhaps even discover or inspire the next Professor Brian Cox or John Dyson. Breakfast Tim Muffet is there for us this morning. Morning, Tim.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and that's very interesting to see. Thank you.
Time now to get the news, travel and weather where you are.